Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by ACD&B, who are a branding and creative design agency based in Farsley, Leeds. They create standout brands. So if any companies out there need a brand new logo or a brand refresh, just get in touch with ACD&B. Thanks as always to them for sponsoring us, not just with the podcast, not just with the fanzine, not just with the merch, but now with the podcast studio, which we will be recording the Salford review in. We're back in there. We're very lucky, again, to have another special guest with us for this Leeds Rhinos season preview. But joining me, as always, my right-hand man, my co-host, but our amazing stats man, Statman Reese.
I'm a stat man.
Reese.
How are you, Reese?
Good for a Monday. But that intro just reminded me, because it's always a bit of a big fish, little fish, cardboard box song, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
I was at the ice hockey last night, and they actually played Big Fish, Little Fish, Cardboard Box at one point. So
I was going to say it played your theme tune.
No, it didn't play the theme tune. No, it actually played the Big Fish, Little Fish, Cardboard Box. But yeah, no, good, thank you.
We're very lucky for another Lot Pod special, another making his hat-trick appearance. Who's joining us tonight to preview all things Leeds Rhinos?
Well, I'm not sure friend of the pod is a good phrase now, because now he's been here 3 times. It should be another level, really. But it's commercial director and Leeds Rhinos fan, Rob Oates. Rob, how are you?
Nice to see you. Good evening, chaps. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Rob, it's pre-season, or just pre-season's coming to an end. How excited are you for this Super League season for the Rhinos?
Can't wait. Yeah. There's a buzz around the place, certainly. There's a lot of talk on Friday. That's pre-season done, on and off the field. We're all ready. Everybody's ready. At AMT Headingley to welcome everyone this Friday, and it's the countdown's on, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it worth being in the club, Rob? Because you've got you're a commercial director, but you're also a Leeds Rhinos fan. So as a Rhinos fan, as us fans, we can separate ourselves from pre-season a bit because we have our day jobs and everything else to get done. But being excited for pre-seasons for you guys in the club, being in the club and seeing the players, is it worse? Is that expectation of pre-season worse or harder to get through?
Worse.
Are you too close?
A bit as worse, yeah. I suppose it's a hazard of the job that there's no escape, is there? There's the good times are so much better because we're in the thick of it, and when the tough times come, and we haven't had many, but last few years there's been on occasions where you've gone, this is a bit tricky, going back in on a Monday after a heavy defeat. So, but yeah, no, it's a fab place to work. It's a fab organisation to be involved with, and I'm very grateful, and I look myself as very grateful in the position I am. I absolutely love it. As you know, I am a friend of the pod for sure. You two do a brilliant job, and it's very nice. You said you're honoured. What did you say? We've got a very special guest. I'm not so sure. There's just no one else to do it, but it is very nice that you come back. But
you always say that, but we're honoured to have you on.
Ridiculous, but anyway, it's it's nice. It really is nice to be on, and like a shared belonging. I guess that's what the Rhinos bring to a whole host of people for different reasons, and us three are no different.
Is there? It's pre-season, or it's just been pre-season, Rob? Is there ever a quiet period in your job? Is there ever a time where you can kind of have a little reset, or is it always just constantly kind of working?
It's different when you don't have games on a weekend, because you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday night off, and it is different. But it's the off season is busy for us because that's when we're selling, trying to get everything, and all the partners and sponsors get all that renewed and get it all done. And obviously, we've got some challenging numbers to hit, as we always have. It's been a fantastic off season for the club commercially. So we're in a good place.
You mentioned there commercially, you did announce, the club did announce a fantastic new deal with AMT. How did that come about, Rob? That AMT partnership, that new sponsorship.
Yeah, so the guy who owns AMT is a guy called Neil McGawley, originally from Middleton. He's built up a really, really successful Leeds-based business that's a national business, but it's Leeds-based. He's absolutely diehard Rhinos fan. Loves it.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah. So, and I've known him a long time. I got introduced to him from a really, really good friend of mine who sadly passed away not so long ago, Richard Goldberg, who were big mates, and through golf played a bit of golf. So I've known him probably 16 years. And then just because we had the global deal and how things were, and then with the redevelopment, and then just got a bit into it with Neil, saw a bit more of Neil, and then just conversations happened, and it took maybe 18 months to get from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that went on, but yeah, that's a fabulous deal for us. 15-year association with a guy who really, really, really loves the club. He's interested. Sam must only be fit. With his thumb for Friday. That's we had a conversation. I was at Ellen Road with him on Saturday because they do a bit with Leeds United too. So, and with Yorkshire Cricket, so they've got all the clubs in the city, if you like. And he's interested. He's genuinely interested. Is Neil, and his son Alex runs it. They've got a fabulous team of people, great cars, great people. And if you need a car or anything, speak to AMT, because it's a vehicle solution for everyone is their caption. So cars for everyone from one end of the spectrum to the other, as you can imagine. But it's a brilliant deal, and that was a special day when we announced that. It was a big thing. It was great.
So obviously it was quite a big deal. Obviously you had the press conference announced. What, in terms of the impact for the club, announcing a deal of that value and that length, what difference does it make to you and your to the club, but also to that commercial team as well? Yeah,
I mean, commercially, and not to go into too much depth, but I think anyone would know, us three on the call will know that energy prices have gone through the roof. So the club's energy prices, we're spending 300 grand or more this year than we did last on energy, and it's like, where's that going to come from? Yeah. So and then some other stuff. The TV dealing wasn't quite the number, although I thought they did a brilliant job at getting that Sky deal. And you might ask me about Sky later, because Sky are fantastic partners of rugby league, and that's really encouraging. I spent a bit of time with the wider Sky group down there a couple of weeks ago, and they're fantastic. But with all the challenges that we've got, we need to hit big commercial numbers. So it does certainly help with that. In terms of players and salary cap, we're spending up to cap anyway. And we've never shied away from spending everything that's legal and allowable on our team, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we've done again in 2024. So it doesn't have too much effect on the rugby department, but from a club point of view, it certainly helps. Yeah,
that was a massive deal. The AMT. There was a massive press conference. Was the initial idea to have, because Brodie Croft and Andy Ackers got kind of brought in a day or two later, was the initial idea, because there was a lot of rumours about them two being there and it being a massive unveiling of AMT and Croft and Ackers? Is that accurate, Rob?
Not quite. So Gary had never ever divulged where he was at with players, never ever. And I think the Brodie Croft one is the first time that he spoke to a few of us saying that was close. And it was Phil Daly who said it'd be brilliant if he just walked across the pitch with some dry ice and a Leeds shirt on, walking, you know what I mean? And walking through the vehicles to where we all were in the corporate facility, and Taverners in the corner, or just come out the corner of Taverners and just walk. That would have blown everyone's mind. And that was, we were getting really giddy and excited at the thought of that.
That was better than the end to the traitors, that. I think that would have been even better than that.
Andy Ackers hadn't signed then. So he hadn't signed at that point, and nobody other than Gary and Rowan knew that Andy Ackers was on the cards, and that happened really quick. But that wasn't on the cards at that point. So Andy Ackers was never mentioned that he was going to be at an AMT, the AMT press conference. Brodie Croft was, so it was partially true, but it just didn't get it. I don't know. I can't remember the detail of it, but there was just a bit of red tape and a bit of contract here and there. And obviously, when you've got Salford involved, they've got to be happy and cool because he was their player. and they've got to be happy with the deal as well. So it didn't just quite get done in time to be unveiled on that Tuesday, but I think it was the following Tuesday, or maybe the following Tuesday, Wednesday, when they were both announced. So probably a week later. Yeah, but yeah, that partially true. That would have been great, wouldn't it?
It would have been amazing.
It
still would have been amazing anyway.
It was.
We've got them both anyway, so I suppose it doesn't matter in that context. I do like the flair of just Croft potentially just walking into that press conference, everyone going, hang on a minute. But a couple of other changes that happened in the off season, mainly regarding tickets. So I think this was the first year I'd remembered for a while where we'd done an early bird deal for season tickets. Something that I took advantage of. £200 for the South Stand was great value. It did mean that the Western Terrace came up, but Western Terrace went up. I understand that. What was the reason behind trying, doing that early bird? Is that something that Rhinos have done before?
Yeah, we have. We've done it. We've done it a bit. Obviously, you forget, don't you, that COVID and 3 years post-COVID was a discounted period for some people who were almost coming out of COVID. So 2024 is the first normal year, if you like, where COVID has not had an effect on our numbers, because people who gifted then got a discount for 3 years. So that kind of skews the numbers and skews some of the increases. But if you look back pre-COVID, the season ticket and the membership is fantastic value. And we'd always look at it. Matt Adams and Sean Jones do an absolute brilliant job. And then when they show us it, you just look at it. Nigel Chambers, our finance director, sense checks it, and you just go, that's fair. And that's we're not trying to double it by 49%. Come up with a fair proposition, and then with the installment plan, which you can, even today as we sit here now, you can spread it six months through, and if you bought a season ticket tomorrow, again, which is fantastic. I don't understand why more people don't do that at zero interest. So I think that the early bird we did back in the day. Early bird used to be up till 1st of November and then cut off and off you went. So it's always been extended a bit. But yeah, we used to do early birds, but there's almost been a reset button with membership. And the wider point, I guess, is membership is a different beast to how it was 20, 25 years ago as well. Yeah, so everyone had a season ticket, everyone had a paper season ticket, and then tore your little thing out. Yeah. And now it's just vastly different, isn't it? How people, take content and attend matches, and as we progress further, who knows where membership will end up, but it's still a massive part of our year and a massive part of our budget, and we're just about up year. Well, we are up year on year,
brilliant,
which is a good thing. Probably need to be a little bit more up, but so if anyone's umming and ahhing about whether you're coming on Friday, please come.
Yeah, get your tickets.
In relation to that, and does the signing of, it might be an easy one to answer, a bit of an obvious question, but when you bring in Croft and Ackers, and we pay that sort of money, which Rhinos haven't done for so long, and it is for me quite a big deal in Super League history. Do you see spikes in ticket sales or seeing ticket sales when something like that does get announced?
Yeah, a little bit. I've been surprised at how people are still questioning the rugby operation.
Yeah.
So I've been slightly surprised at that. I thought people would be like us three, going, "Hey, we've got a right team here, and the treble's on."
Yeah, the treble's coming home. Yeah.
I thought more people would be like that. But I guess last year was so disappointing, wasn't it? And at times really difficult watching. It's scarred a few. So, and again, as a club, and to be fair to Gary and Rowan, it's like, come on, we need to drive this forward now, and knowing what we know and knowing what we need, this is what needs to happen. And if you'd have said, right, there's 10 things that need to happen in the off season, every single one of them happened. Every single one of them happened. So it was, from that point of view, it's been the perfect and we'll maybe come on to that about the players and the mood in the camp a bit later on. But yeah, it's been a fabulous off-season, and we've seen it, I suppose, a little bit reflected so far in numbers, certainly commercially. But yeah, there's still a bit of way to go on tickets and membership.
A couple of wins, Rob, and everyone will be back.
Exactly. Start well, yeah, absolutely. Start well.
Yeah, as soon as they've seen Brodie Croft play, they'll all be straight back into Headingley. Just on IMG, Rob, what have you made of it's only been a really short period of time that IMG are kind of getting their wheels turning. What have you made of what IMG have done so far in this off season?
Yeah, I think there's a few things, isn't there, that started. I know they played a significant role in the team. And Rugby League Commercial, headed up by Rodri, needs some credit there. Sky really like Rugby League. Sky really get on with, Rodri and his team. So Sky is such a big part of the funding and everything else. We need to look after Sky. We need to promote Sky. If from this, what could you do? Buy a membership at Leeds Rhinos and make sure you've got Sky, and you haven't got a dodgy stick. They're the three that you could do. That would help Rugby League, because Sky are brilliant partners. IMG, I mean, they've been involved 2 and a bit years. I think it's been slow at times. I think some of that grading and stuff seemed to drag on, and didn't really tell us anything that no one didn't know. Would be my personal view, not necessarily the club's view, but my view. But they've done some bits, and they've certainly got a feeling that this year there seems to be more positivity, more content, and I think the clubs are helping with that too, and that's right, because it is the club's responsibility to do that as well and make the game better. So I think you throw IMG in, Rugby League Commercial, Sky, and every club getting their act together a bit more. I think it's put it all in a pot, and it does seem more vibrant. You do see more positivity, and yeah, it all adds up to what should be a really, really encouraging 2024, shouldn't it?
I think it was always going to be a little bit of a slow burner with IMG, though, isn't it? You can't build a long-term strategy overnight. You've got to go in and speak to all the clubs, get the information, get the data to build it. But it certainly feels like in the last 3 months that quite a lot has happened. We had the grading results come out, and obviously the obvious thing was that we were number one. But then we've had the announcement.
We're always going to be number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually underscored us.
That's what Rob meant when he said we didn't need the grading us to tell that, because we knew that anyway. But they had the gradings. We had the Super League Commercial come out, didn't we? We've had all the the new fantasy, and we've had the new branding. It all seems to have come quite quickly in the lead up to the pre-season, which is I think has helped my excitement for the build-up of the season as well.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, Race, yeah, do.
Do IMG speak to the clubs? Is there much communication in between themselves?
Yeah, not so much commercially, but certainly on the social media and the media and PR side, they've spent a lot of time with Phil and Leanne in our media and PR department, and picking through that. So yeah, they have spent some time with the club. And hopefully that'll continue, and because they need to get a better understanding of what drives the clubs and what the clubs need to do to get a collective better product and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah, great. We've got 3 new kits this year, Rob.
You like them?
Oh yeah, love them, particularly the heritage shirt. But of the heritage shirt, the principal shirt, and the away shirt, which one's your favourite, Rob?
See, I always had a soft spot for a white shirt, and I love It's a Leeds thing. I really like that.
Love that whole campaign, yeah. Loved that.
Yeah. But the heritage shirt, the 2004 shirt, just when I look at that, I just smile.
Yeah.
Just because it just evokes such happy memories. That kit was almost the start of it.
Do you actually think it's a nice kit, Rob? Because a bit like you, I think for me, I love that kit because of what I associate with that kit. But I'm not sure it's the prettiest kit we've ever had in my own mind, but I think it's because of what it means to us as Rhinos fans of why it is a favourite.
Yeah. But then that's the kit, isn't it? It's what it means to you, innit? And when seeing the team in it, and then picturing Danny Mag scoring that winning try when he slithered under and then arcs away to a corner flag and everyone goes mental. Yeah. That was the first time in my lifetime I'd seen us win the title. So it just evokes such special memories. Yeah, I love it. But I agree with you. There's some kits where you go, oh, that's a beauty, and then it just doesn't
fade into memory, doesn't it?
It just doesn't strike a chord with some people. But like I think we've had some absolute great kits. I mean, credit to Lee at Oxon, for like coming up with some of these, because the Navy kit, the second one with the flex on it, when we saw that, we're like going, it looks like a game of asteroids.
Yeah,
and
it does.
We weren't sure, but then when you see it, you go, it's lovely. It's really, really lovely. And the training kit, I mean, I like this. I like this traditional look, but the pink and navy is absolutely beautiful, and such striking contrasts between the colours. It looks fab. We're one smart rugby team, and that's down to Oxon and Lee and his team, who do a fantastic job, and Shane too. So yeah.
Is there much just on the kits and merchandise? Is there much communication between Oxon and the club? Is it kind of a partnership in that, right?
Absolutely.
This is the home kit type thing. You all agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah. And that's the beauty with it. We sign everything off.
Right.
So yeah. And like looking ahead to 2025, 2005 was a really exciting year. Ended up in disappointment. But like started amazingly well, and the World Club Challenge at Ellen Road was a very, very special night.
Yeah.
And that kit, and then 2015 the treble, that kit. So there's like plenty to go at for 2025. So there's been some really interesting conversations going on so far.
I mean, that nicely leads into our next question, actually, Rob. Because I don't always remember us using the titles Principal Heritage and an alternate. It's always sort of been away, home, away, and third.
Yeah.
Is that Principal Heritage alternative theme, is that most likely going to continue going forward?
Yeah, I think so. And again, you need a heritage angle to call it that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's called third, we've had a particularly poor year 10 years previous. Mm-hmm. And what you find is, you across the sales of those shirts, not one shirt will sell 15,000 shirts. They'll all sell a number that kind of like get it to a place where they're all like similar sales. So it's like it's more choice. It's not compulsory to buy them, but what you find is people buy 2 or 3 if they like them.
For some reason, I do think it's compulsory, Rob. I don't know why. Just I get told off by the wife, but it for some of us, like me, Laurie, and others, it is definitely compulsory. Unfortunately,
just to buy.
We've got some people in our group. We've got every home shirt back to 1980 and stuff like that. There's some amazing collections out there.
Fantastic, isn't it? For that.
Is there anything in the pipeline for a MND shirt, Rob? For a Rob Burrow shirt, or has that been discussed yet?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I don't know any more than that at this stage, but yeah, constantly looking at ways to beat the drum and keep that fundraising going.
Definitely, absolutely.
Oxon and Lee, and certainly Phil Daly. Well, the work that Phil Daly's done in terms of looking at the medium PR for Kevin's runs and challenges has been on, hasn't it? So he's certainly on that page too. So I don't know exactly where that's at, but yeah, there's always talk of, if there is an angle, what can we do?
Yeah, brilliant. That's your commercial director hat on. We'd now like your opinion on everything as a Rhinos fan, really, which is exactly what you are. So we've kind of touched on Brodie Croft and Andy Ackers. What did you make of it when Gary told you, when Rowan told you that these two, they're actually signing for the Rhinos?
Just like I'm like a kid, so I don't sleep thinking about it, and just like and almost like Gary got fed up, and that's why he don't say anything, because you get fed up to back teeth of me asking him, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? So, and that was Brodie, but Andy Ackers happened that quick. I was having a drink with Rowan. Rowan lives near me, so having a drink with him, and he went, that's nearly done. And I went, really? And I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And he said, it's nearly done that. And I'm like going, wow, that is incredible too. But just, fabulous signings. I mean, all 7, because I'll throw Kieran Hudson in that too. All 7 signings are just absolutely top draw. Top draw. I couldn't speak highly enough of every single one of them. Honestly, they're just absolutely the brilliant blokes and great guys, and then fabulous players too. So it's what they're like as a person, and when will they fit in? And that was always the question and the case. And Rowan had said that he'd look at 20 things. Why wouldn't he sign him? And then, right, we'll sign him because I can't find any reason not to. It was a bit different with Brody and Andy because he'd sit and they were over here, so it was less of a risk. Well, it was no risk, was it? It's just not a risk.
You know what you were getting,
Signing them to, they're both here, the big mates, they're travelling together, so instantly it's easier for them both that they're both coming. So just really, really, really excited. I said so it was a Tuesday. That following Tuesday after the AMT, and Rowan sends me the numbers of the players that he signs. So I text them all, and Matt Frawley rang me back actually, which was lovely. But on the Andy and Brody ones, so I sent Andy Ackers a WhatsApp message saying, Andy, just wanted to say, pleased awarded and chuffed that you're coming to Leeds. Brilliant that you've picked us. Can't wait to meet you. If you need anything, give us a shout. Look forward to catching up. Cheers, Rob. And sent him it. And then, because of what that, I sent Brody Croft the same message. So it said, I sent Andy. So I sent Brody. Andy, great that you've signed. So then you can't retract it, can you? So that was like about 12 o'clock. The press conference were 1:30. So I was like, I had some, anyway, rearranged everything because I wanted to be there. I've come out, and as Brody, I've seen him out my office window, so I've pegged it downstairs, and I've gone round corner, and I've gone, Andy, to Brody Croft. And Brody Croft turned round, laughing his head off. He went, "Are you Rob?" And we laughed and had a hug. And it's like they're just great kids. They're great.
Andy Croft, new nickname.
Exactly. So I thought, Jesus, me and my Palethorpe sausages getting all that texted WhatsApp wrong. Anyway, but they're great. It's like days like that you go, I won't want to work anywhere else. It's just brilliant.
No,
it's
best job in the world.
Yeah, just brilliant.
From a fan perspective, obviously, Croft, it was the obvious thing to do, like you said, and there's no questions about him. He is class. And, from us, we said we needed a new halfback, needed a new halfback pairing. Hooker wasn't really on our list.
No.
Jared had, a great year last year. He's still developing in that role massively.
Yeah.
Obviously, that news for him is someone's coming in to be the number 9. We were happy for him to have that 9 shirt. Have you got any idea of, in terms of what Jared and how Jared took that news from that perspective?
I asked Rowan that. I said, "Has Jazz been all right?" And he went, "Been amazing. Is it every session?" There's some stats. We had some sponsors down at Kirksall last week, and there's some stats. And he's been the top trainer in terms of sessions.
Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah.
And also, he hasn't missed. He hasn't missed at all. He's fitter than he's ever been. And his attitude is, well, I've got someone who I can learn off, but I want to start. And that's the perfect mix. I thought it was brilliant on Boxing Day, wasn't he? I thought he said he helped transform that game. Just his enthusiasm and flying off the line and his line speed. And he showed a bit of that against OKR. He's just a brilliant, brilliant lad who, if in them circumstances, you couldn't have asked him to handle it any better.
It's funny because there's 2 comments there, or there's 2 things about Jared. One thing that Cam said when we were invited down to the media day was that they call him Soap, because he cleans everything up. He's just that workhorse that just cleans everything up as well. And it's funny you mention him getting off the line, because I'm hoping you've watched the video, Rob, because you invited us down. But he claimed to me that I said he didn't make a big tackle against Michael Lawrence against Bradford. I thought it was more of a push, and he said it was a big tackle, to the point that his dad had texted Jared saying I'd sent that, and then Jared sending me videos. Just to get your opinion on that one, do you think it was a big hit against Michael Lawrence?
What a big hit! Well,
he pushed him.
I thought it was a big hit.
What a big hit! It was. I agree.
I won the vote on media day anyway.
Yeah. I was sat behind the stakes in that coral stand though that day. It was like the Ark Royal, like it was that rusty.
Well, we were stood behind the players and we saw them all go off at like 30 minutes in. We thought, oh, that's Rob texting him saying the sandwiches are out.
No, I didn't. I did text him. It was Cam Smith, so I was seeing if he were going to button me because I could see him. He had his phone in his hands, so I messaged him. I went, now then, and he looked, and I thought he ain't going to reply. He's just going to put it in his pocket, and he just put, "Where are you?" And I went, "I'm up here. It's freezing." He went, "I need a coffee." I went, "Come up at half time, just to Cameron." He brought 30 players with him. The room was smaller than this kitchen. So, like, all of a sudden, it looked like North Korea because we're all in this clobber. So everyone's just like comes in and just covers it.
Oh, the sardine.
Took every cup of coffee. They'd run out of coffee.
Cam should have brought his own. Sticking on to new signings then. Lachie Miller, someone that we met on the media day. He looks, even the feeling that Lachie seems to generate, what we noticed in that tunnel, Eddie, I don't know if you agree, but he was just fun. Like, he was a bit of a class clown sort of thing, taking a mick and just being a bit of an idiot, but in a really funny way and stuff. And it was really interesting seeing that. Is he just that big of a character in general?
Absolutely. Yeah, just a ball of energy and a ball of fun, but just a very, very nice, polite man who gets it, but knows when to like mess about as well. You know what I mean? So he's just perfect. He's funny. He's very, very funny. He's great, and he can't wait, and he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. So, yeah, we can't wait to see him play.
And what did you think of his performances on the Boxing Day and the whole KR game? I think even he himself admitted he was probably trying a bit too much on Boxing Day. Obviously, he got his try against KR and had some good moments there.
Yeah, Boxing Day it's a different thing, that, isn't it? It's like it's mid pre-season, which is tricky, and you'd never read that much into Boxing Day, would you? You never would. But against Hull KR, I thought he showed some nice touches. Ultra safe under the high ball because he was swirling around in that first half. Some real difficult high bombs to take. Took them really comfy, which is a great sign. Great support player, and he's chiming around the back, and him, Brody, and Matt Frawley have got like a thing going, I'm sure. And like I've seen a bit in training where they're constantly talking and pushing and pointing. So and again, his game is top of the ground, dry track, and heavy, windy, driving rain. It's like, wow, and he's done well, hasn't he? I thought he played well against Hull KR.
He did.
What you want with him, absolutely what you want from him. So but we're good.
You mentioned Matt Frawley there, Rob. Another great sign, another great partner for Brodie Croft, and another halfback which we desperately needed. Yeah,
for sure. And again, such a nice guy. Like I know this might sound like a broken record, but honestly, just proper top bloke, and just someone who's under the radar a bit. People went, we were still 5 years ago. Well, 5 years is a long time. When you're 28. You know what I mean? He was a young lad when he went there, and still all the people at Huddersfield really, really like him, and like he's in touch with some of them. So that says a lot. Just a great guy. And like you hear the lads, Harry Newman and Reece Martin and Cam Smith talk about him. They know whether he's a player or not, and they know that he is, because they're saying his organisational skills around will allow Brodie to play.
Yeah, more freely.
Yeah, he's great.
You definitely saw that on KR. You could see that structure was far better in that KR game, and I think he will make quite a few people eat his words, because to say when we signed him, not quite a few people weren't happy about it, but I actually think a lot of people will have to be deleting those tweets or whatever they did in the past, because I think they'll be proved wrong. But I think the biggest compliment I think I've seen about Frawley so far was probably when we had Sam Lassoni on the podcast, and it was who's most likely going to be a head coach in the squad, and straight away, without question, you said Matt Frawley.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think we've got a few of them, Reece. I think a few of them. He in his kicking game, he's vastly underrated. He's got a lovely cultured left foot, a lovely left foot. And you saw that last week in really difficult windy conditions. The control of his kicks was something that you just kind of like, you just expect it because it's Matt Frawley. But honestly, a class act.
Yeah. There was one massive kick in that game, actually, Frawley did. I think it was a proper, in the Union, as they call it, a Gary Owen, but it was absolutely massive. It definitely went sort of out of the stadium, right on the try line, and it was. I mean, I remember going, "God, we haven't had that for a while."
Ever, yeah, yeah.
Perfect kicking game. Probably since Kev. Another Australian, another star signing from the NRL, Paul Momirovski. I mean, we've just Gary's just got the checkbook out here, Rob, and just said, "Who do you want, Rowan?"
Right, a bit of that, but yeah. And again, Paul was in the leadership group of the Roosters.
Yes.
And again, if you look at that Roosters backline, he's probably not going to get in. And yeah, so the Rowan's big mates with Trent Robinson, and that's how that came about. There was some other options with some other centres as well, but he's great. Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, like a really, really good player. I was talking to Danny Maguire about him, actually, and Danny Maguire saying how good he is. And you trust Danny. And that's a couple of years ago. And, yeah, just a fabulous rugby league player and bloke again. And again, Harry Newman, I mean, he's only trained with him maybe 2.5 weeks. Because he came early Jan and then he went back to Australia. So he came back. Yes, he came back on Sunday. So trained today. I messaged him actually, and he's had a lovely day. And he'd come back with his wife because he got married on 29th of December. Then came here, then went back, and then he's come back with his wife now because he had some weddings that were pre-planned over in Australia.
In Oz, yeah.
So, but yeah, absolute top guy again, just out of the Frawley Croft Ackers mould, just a lovely guy who is, astute judge of rugby league. And I think, from what I've heard, he's going to be like a future head coach and everything else you've got. So you've got Frawley, him, and there were one or two others as well. But again, more than just a centre. He's bigger than you think. He'd be 6'3" at least. But yeah, a very, very, very good player. And again, a great guy. Can't wait to see him play.
And if you can just sidetrack from new signings to another centre in the Rhinos squad, Harry Newman signed his new 2-year deal, obviously keeping him now to the end of 2026.
Yeah.
Again, from a Leeds fan perspective, Rob, from a Leeds hat, what does it mean for Harry Newman to be committing another 2 years to Leeds?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And what he said was right. You think he does owe the club, and the club have stuck by him. But it's nice to hear Harry say it. We all wanted him to stay, of course we did. And Rowan did, and Gary did, and everyone, every single fan would. So it's fab news, isn't it? You need to keep hold of your best players, and then build from there. So. It's brilliant news. An English, one of our own, come through our academy. But yeah, great news. And he looks in absolute brilliant nick. So I just hope, he just starts well and starts to build into the season.
Yeah, shows us what he's got. Another local lad who's now the Leeds captain, Cam Smith. Was that just the easiest decision Rowan would ever make, just to make Cam captain?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of criticism on the last year of who's captain and who in, and we need to sort it out. And I think I agree that you just need to have one captain. I don't think any side's not done it. I don't think any top sides had a group of captains. They might have a leadership group, but there's always one leader. And now it's Cam, which is great. And I think that's the right call. And then close by his lieutenants of Croft, Ackers, Ash, Mick, Frawley would be the group around him. So he's got plenty of lieutenants, and people who we can check in with. But Cam's an experienced Super League player, isn't he? And the time's right. He's immensely proud by it, and he's one of our own as well. So it's brilliant, isn't it, that he's captain. I'm proud as punch for him.
Yeah, me too.
So flipping back to the signings then, Mikel Gudemond, a bit of a player that I think is brilliant. Gudemond, I rated him when he was at Catalan. Prop second row. Hopefully he's going to be fit for this weekend. What sort of impact has Gudemond made?
Again, it's great that him and Sanga are walking around together. So the little French group within the Rhinos family, but Sanga's like looking after him. He's again just a very, very polite, nice bloke who is training the house down, wants to impress, has got on with everybody. Just a great, lovely, just a top guy. And again, Coward's team player. I thought he did all right Boxing Day. Then he's just had this little niggle, but I don't think it's anything too dramatic. So, yeah, Coward team player.
It was James Donaldson's testimonial for the Hull KR game. He spoke to Radio Leeds on the media day, and James Dayton asked him, "What does Leeds mean to you, James?" And Dono started to choke up, and
I saw that.
Quite clearly the club means a lot to him, Rob.
Yeah. And he means a lot to the club. He's everything that's good about rugby league and everything that's good about Leeds Rhinos. He is an absolute champion. He's the father figure. He's the first person that most would speak to if they had any. Yeah. He is just, I can't speak highly enough about him. And we did a bit. We've done a few dinners, and obviously the game last Sunday. And yeah, we both got a bit emotional because I feel a bit under, because it's his game, it's his day, so you want it to go so well. It's different to this Friday where it's the club, and it's like, there's almost like a bit more pressure on when it's for James with all his family there watching. But yeah, just it were great, and I was chuffed to bits for him because it went so well. And yeah, he came in office today. He is an absolute diamond. He really, really is. And yeah, he right back at him that he means as much to the club as the club means to him.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And is he be teaching Brodie Croft how to put in passes with props taken on a great line? Because the pass he did to Tom Nicholson-Watton, I don't think I've ever seen Dono do that.
It was now downwind as well off a run up. He went through like a rocket, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think little Tom, just switching on to that, I think he'll have a big year this year. He was great for him to talk to. But
yeah, he come from nowhere, and now you go, well, he's in reckoning for Friday, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when we spoke to him, he wasn't sure about where he was going to play. Obviously, he had a bit of time at Keefe last year and Drew Reg. And to be honest, for me, I think he's really put his name in for the 17. I think he's up for a massive year.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. And that's like you say, you don't read too much into pre-season, but you're hopeful that someone will come through where you go, do you know what? There's something there with them. When you put them up at that higher level, they can just go with it and ride out the rough patches on defense and then come up with a play like he did. I think he's been great, mate. I think he's been really, really good.
So some predictions to finish then, Rob, just because I think we've just lost Eddie for a second there. If you're going to predict a player of the year, who would your player of the year be? Your shout for player of the year be?
The Rhinos player of the year?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 in no particular order. That's so hard. Do you know what? That's so hard because, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good. So I'll go top 7. No, yeah. I mean, everyone would go Croft, wouldn't they, Brodie? And I think, if we're going to win something, he's going to play well, isn't he? But Matt Frawley, Momorowski, Harry Newman, Lockie Miller, Andy Cam Smith, if they all play 8, 9 out of 10, we're in top 2 for sure.
I can't push you for one name then.
All of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to put my hand up and say Harry Newman. I think for me, I think Harry's going to have a big year. I really want Harry to have a big year with no injuries, and and
show us what he's got.
We've seen what he's got. We just want to see it to the full season.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, Harry was saying to the club's media this week or last week that it's his first pre-season in 2 years, just due to injuries. So he's going to be in much better nick.
You only got to look at him, Eddie.
Yeah.
You've only got to see him in a polo shirt. That they all, like there was a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when we played Catalan early on, and Mike Aiken and 1 or 2 forwards came round, and they've got biceps like bulging out of these polo shirts, and you're going, "Wow, look at the size of them." And we didn't, we didn't look like that. Now we do. We do look like. We do look athletic. We do look big. So, everyone's ready to play for sure. They're busting to play, so can't wait.
Yeah, so that's Player of the Year. What about Young Player of the Year, Rob? Who do you think will shine this year?
Our unwritten rule is 22 and under. That's for some reason.
22 and under.
I don't know if that matches what Rhinos do, but around that age group.
22 and under. Who's that in your starting?
In the squad, that's probably
Tom Nicholson-Watton.
Tom Nicholson-Watton will be in there.
Jackson Field.
Jack
Smith.
Max Simpson.
Alfie Edgell.
Fergie and Ned McCormack.
Yeah.
Yeah, McCormack's,
I'll go Ned McCormack.
Yeah.
It's funny saying that. I've been raving about Fergus week in, week out on this pod, and because of the flashes we've seen of him, we've been having conversations of a Sam Tompkins cross Danny Maguire sort of built together as
not a bad player.
But it was Ned that stood out against KR, and he took his try incredibly well.
Yeah, and I think just by how Ned's a year and a bit older than him, 13, 14 months older than him, than Fergie, I just think that Ned, they'll be cautious with Fergie. I don't think he'll play as much as Ned, because they'll just be cautious with him.
Behind.
But I agree. Fergie is one talented player. I mean, that pass at Bradford. Well, his first touch, we went 80 yards and nearly scored. Then his second touch, or maybe his third touch, he's like put a 2-player face ball, and Olifers walks in the corner, and you're like, he's a super talent. But there's a group. What's lovely. There's a group of them behind. You know, if you go down, you can see when they play in a post session, there's almost like a young Rhino academy team who most of them are ready for first team, who are playing against the 13 who you'd think could maybe start giving a clean bill of health on Friday. So it's just encouraging, isn't it? Like what we've got, and John Bastian and Simon Bell and all that group of people deserve some credit, because when John came back, it takes a bit of time to get them players through the process and along the conveyor belt to the first team. It's not going to happen overnight. So it's going to be a 3-4 year almost plan. And that's what we're seeing the start of coming through into this group. So, yeah, it's a load of work that happened 3 years ago and 2 years ago. Ned and Fergie and the likes of Jack Smith and Max and all them. So, yeah.
We've always had a conveyor belt of young players, but it does feel like this current crop are different. And I think that the thing that I'm most excited about is Jack Simford and Fergus McCormack, because it's almost an exact mirror image of Frawley and Croft. And if those two can learn off from the years, I just think that's really exciting. I think Jack's been really great in pre-season. Ned was fantastic against KR, so I do think the talent pipeline is definitely there.
I agree. Yeah, completely agree. And there's some more behind that as well.
So I'll make the next prediction slightly easy for you, Rob. You can't say Brodie Croft for this one, because I think that's the obvious answer. But if you're going to pick a signing of the season that isn't Brodie Croft, who do you think will be the player when come October? As Eddie says, once we've done the treble, who do you think will be the signing other than Brodie Croft that's made the biggest impact?
Paul Momirovski.
Yeah.
And Matt Frawley.
2.
Yeah.
And then, just to finish off, Rob, thanks as always for coming on. We always appreciate your time and speaking to us. Table finish and prediction for the Rhinos this year?
Well, I think the top 3 will be Wigan, Saints and us.
Yeah.
top 6 would be made up of them 3, and then Warrington, Lee, and Catalan. That's what I'd see. Hull KR, maybe, but I think they're the best 6/7 if you put KR in it. So yeah, injuries, a bit of luck. We've got it's an all right start Friday. Salford will have a go, so and we know that. And then there's a couple of toughies in it. We go Hull KR, then Catalan, then Lee, then Saints. That's the first 5. So, we didn't win many of them last year, did we?
No. And the beauty of the league is that it is close. But what Eddie's really wanting you to say, Rob, is that you're going to do the treble. That's Eddie. That's what Eddie's been building you up for you to say. He just wants you to say that we're going to win the treble.
Yeah. I used to say it all the time corporately. People were getting fed up with it, but yeah, the treble's still on. But yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
We'll see.
But just, do you know what's exciting? Is that we're excited.
Yeah.
And there's enthusiasm and there's people. One of our sponsors, a guy called Dave Flannery from ACS, who was like, he's a great lad, and he said to me, he went, "Even I'm excited, Rob." And he overly flustered. He went, "I'm excited." Is when you come into the games and you're going, "How are we gonna beat this lot today?" Or how do you think we'll play? We're gonna have to play 10 out of 10, and they're gonna have to have a day, and then we might win. Whereas now you're going, everyone will come to us and you go, "Wow, look at that back line. It's a world 13, that starting 13. The back line is, I think that's probably one of the best back lines. If everybody's fit, one of the best back lines we've ever had. Ever. So, I mean, obviously we'll have to see how they play, but on paper, it's one of the best we've ever had. So,
and I certainly hope that excitement transpires on Friday, because I'm secretly hoping for a crowd that is bigger than any attendance that we had last year. I can't see why it shouldn't be. Without looking at the numbers, I don't know, but I certainly hope we're touching 16,000 on Friday, because I think that is exciting.
Yeah.
It might take a bit of time to get things to click more than we probably would like to, but I'm really hopeful that we'll start strongly on Friday.
Yeah, and every team's in that boat, aren't they? Like Salford got beat at St Helens, so they're clearly not firing all cylinders either, are they? So every team's will be searching for a bit of form early on. But yeah, it's just exciting, isn't it? And as I said earlier, if you're umming and ahhing whether to come or not to come, because this hopefully is the start of a new era. There's a really, really good feeling. There's a mood that's never been replicated, I don't think, in terms of togetherness. Would be the word that you describe it as. Rowan's been brilliant off season with Rich Unnix and Chev and Simon and Scott and everybody. It's just like brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So everyone's really together, never been more together. So yeah, look forward to seeing you all on Friday.
On the way to the treble.
Here we go. It's on.
Here we go. Thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for listening. Thanks to Rob again for joining us. We will be back to review the Salford game. We'll see you all then. Take care.
Bye. Bye.